All right, so let's talk about Aries from a Leo's eyes. All right. Aries is the warrior. They are competitive. Their planet is Mars. And let me see, what can I say about Aries? All right, I'm a little bit biased. I'm a fire sign. I'm Leo. And I find instant connections with Aries. And the reason why that is because I love their level of discernment. They're the first sign, and they're pretty clear, and they can see a lot of things really for what they are really quickly. And Leos can be very like giving and overextending, and Aries can see things enough for what needs to be done, like what's there. And don't get into an argument with the Aries, because likewise, like I know a lot of people have said this about Aries, they're not going to stop. They're just not going to stop because they want to win the argument. So you're going to argue in circles. They're going to say stuff that don't make sense. They're going to say the worst stuff to hurt you. They're going to pull out whatever trick is in the bag to win. Not all Aries, but if you were a crazy Aries, the best thing you can do when you argue with them is just don't argue with them, because they're not even going to make sense. And they're going to get mad at me saying this because you're crazy. But no, I love you. I love Aries women because I get the guy and the girl in one. And Aries is really absorbed with self. Like, I've seen the selfies with Aries women is like crazy. They take so many selfies. I would take a lot of selfies because I'm a Leo, but goddamn Aries. But that's them. They're doing them. They're living their life. The thing is that I like about Aries women is I don't deal with as much of the catty, girly stuff as I do with other signs. Because for one, they're like a guy. And for two, they're too worried about themselves to give a damn about what I'm doing. So it works out. And likewise, like with Leo, an Aries woman will really kick an Aries dude's ass any day. They are way, way more masculine, in my opinion, than an Aries man. They're great with discernment, and they're very clear, but the thing that comes with is, they're the first sign, so they act like children. And children are very raw in their emotions. And you get a sign that's very raw in their emotions and raw about what they want and raw about what they need. And the thing is, sometimes their entitlement, it makes so much sense to them. And they just cannot see how it might be off. They're like, what do you mean? I had to do this. This is what I had to do. This is part of my life. Like, and it's like, Aries, can you just consider how this might be a little bit skewed? And they're like, what do you mean? This is what I needed. This is how it goes. Like, they're very, very sure about themselves because they are the I am. And if you get an Aries who hasn't worked on their transparency enough, then you can get one that can be very selfish and one that you cannot talk out of being selfish because they cannot see it. They find it justified because that's their sign. But Aries are go-getters. They are really good when it comes to career. They know how to network. They know how to work a room. They are very fun-loving. They know how to, like, get their hands in all the pots and flip all these things, and they know how to work it out. They know how to get what they need. the great thing about the Aries being the younger sign is they're very fun. They're freaking nuts. You're gonna find one of them climbing a damn tree and swinging off a branch and doing a backflip and just doing all this crazy shit because they're just crazy like that. I find a lot of similarities between Aries man and Leo man. But Aries are not as overextending as Leo man. Aries are so determined. They're very much leaders. They know how to change. I mean, they're the cardinal sign. They know how to just make an immediate abrupt change and then go with it. And there's nothing you can tell them because they know what they know and they know themselves. That's another thing that's very admirable about the Aries. So if you get a more evolved Aries who does have transparency, when they do make decisions for themselves, they're not going to have like this inner conflict. They're going to do it, and they're going to do it 100%, and they're going to work on it 100%, and there's not a damn thing you can tell them. And they are very loving too, very playful. What else about Aries? They like the center of attention. Let me see. Aries, you're never going to be bored. They can get bored pretty quick. And they need action, stimulation. And it's great because, like, if you're going to a sign for that rush, that's the sign to go to. What else about Aries? I have, like I said, I'm skewed because I have instant connections with Aries. I don't know what it is. Like, it's just like immediate best friend. I will get around Aries and we will talk for hours, and it will just make sense. I'll come to them with my philosophies of life, or just like my way of doing things, and they just get it. You know what I mean? It's not much work for me on a friendship level with Aries. It just fits like a glove. I know some signs they can't stand Aries, and I know like 50 million thousand of you guys are going to press the thumbs down button because it's bruising your ego by me saying this, but you need to get over it because I'm talking about every sign. But a lot of them, I feel like Aries can be misunderstood because it's a hard balance, because they really do know what they need for themselves. And they know what they'll tolerate and what they won't tolerate. And it's a hard line for them because I feel like some of them have a hard time understanding when it enters the phase of selfishness versus self-love. Some people can take a lesson from Aries in honoring the self. And some people are just haters because they don't know how to see clearly for themselves. And then some people are just seeing Aries act like a child and say, I want this, give me this. What else? I noticed that Aries do have weak spots too. It's not as deep of a weak spot as a Leo. But they have weak spots in being lovable, and they're very charming. What else? We need Aries because we need someone who knows how to stand in their power and start something and do it and commit to it no matter what else anyone says, without having all these like influences to stop it. We need someone who knows how to make those decisions and knows how to make those cardinal changes. You need an Aries. You need Aries energy. The thing about Aries is they can become really insecure. I know one of the most insecure signs that I've viewed in my life and that I've researched about can be the Aries. And I'm trying to figure out why that is, why they have these because they live in their raw emotions and they're so much like children, and they guilt the self. They being self-absorbed with themselves and self-absorbed with their quote-unquote inadequacies, and making their own inadequacies and making their own shame and their own guilt bigger than what it is, because they are absorbed with the self. So it builds up their insecurity. Sorry that took me a while to spit out. I'm just trying to get it as clear as I can. Aries, I feel like gotta slow down. Romantically, with Aries, it's like, take your time. Take your time, please. Because they can get self-absorbed and like you are just like the piece of thing that they are acting on. You know what I mean? It is like, whoa. I guess it'd be like have more level of self-awareness for the people around you. But like I said, I love Aries women more than Aries men, because I get the best of both worlds. I get the understanding of the woman, and I get a guy, and I don't deal with half the crap that I deal with other girls, and it's just fun. But you're not gonna find a go-getter in the way that an Aries is. They're truly one of a kind. And yeah, that's what I have to say about Aries. Hope you liked it. And see, this is the sign, like I told you, with insecurities, that will attach themselves more to things that they found negative about the video than positive, if they're not as evolved. And that will eat at them, because they're about the I am, the self. But get over it. So anyway, bye.